Henry Lee Lucas. Henry Lee Lucas, often dubbed the Confession Killer, remains one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures in the annals of American crime. Born on August 23, 1936, in Blacksburg, Virginia, Lucas's early life was a harrowing tale of neglect, abuse, and poverty. His mother, a violent alcoholic, subjected him to severe physical and emotional abuse, setting the stage for a life of crime and violence. Early life of crime. Lucas's criminal behavior began early. At age 17, he was sentenced to prison for burglary, and it wasn't long before he escalated to more violent crimes. In 1960, Lucas murdered his own mother during a drunken argument, stabbing her to death. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison, but was released after just 10 years due to prison overcrowding. Upon his release, Lucas drifted across the country, engaging in petty crimes, and it was during this period that he claimed to have committed hundreds of murders. Lucas's crimes were as varied as they were brutal, ranging from strangulation to stabbing, with many of his alleged victims being young women. The Confessions and Controversy. Henry Lee Lucas gained notoriety in the 1980s after being arrested for possession of a deadly weapon. During his interrogation, Lucas began confessing to hundreds of unsolved murders across the United States. His confessions were often detailed and accurate, leading authorities to believe they had captured one of the most prolific serial killers in history. Lucas claimed that he had killed over 600 people, often with the help of his accomplice, Otis Toole. However, as the number of confessions grew, so did skepticism. Many law enforcement officials began to question the validity of Lucas's claims, noting inconsistencies in his stories and the fact that he was often in custody or in another state at the time of some of the murders he confessed to. It became apparent that Lucas was fabricating many of his confessions, likely to gain attention and manipulate the system. This led to a re-evaluation of his case, and many of the murders he confessed to were ultimately attributed to other individuals or remained unsolved. Despite the controversy, Lucas was convicted of 11 murders and sentenced to death. However, in 1998, then-Governor George W. Bush commuted his sentence to life imprisonment, citing doubts about the legitimacy of his confessions. Lucas died in prison on March 12, 2001. Legacy and impact. Henry Lee Lucas's case remains one of the most perplexing in the history of American crime. His ability to deceive law enforcement and the media for so long has raised serious questions about the criminal justice system and the methods used to investigate serial crimes. The Confession Killer left a legacy of confusion, doubt, and mistrust, as his true body count may never be known. Lucas's life and crimes have been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even a Netflix series, all of which explore the bizarre and troubling story of a man who claimed to be one of the most prolific serial killers in history, but who may have been, in part, a product of his own fabrications.